Go right ahead.
This has to do with the letter we received from
I got
the,
mine someplace. I don't know where it is.
I got two.
Oh, you do? Go ahead.
has to do with this letter that we received from Attorney Walensky back in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
And that,
No.
no, that's public information because I believe it was sent to the town administrator to be disseminated. I don't know if it has been, but
I don't know if that's appropriate.
oh, it certainly is. I've already talked to council about it.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
I'm not gonna go there.
well, I'm just making it public.
Okay.
This is a letter received March 1st, 2011. Did you get a copy of that, Commissioner Roy?
No, I didn't either. That's why I'm surprised. Go ahead.
I thought we had a discussion about this.
Did we at the last meeting?
In
Yeah.
non-public.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's a letter from Attorney Walensky to Attorney Lefevre. It says, and I'm making this public because it's about me, and in accordance with 91A, as a member of the commission, my reputation, I don't fall into 91A when it comes to the release of this information, so.
Right.
It says, Dear David, I understand that you represent the town of Hooksett, and in that capacity, I believe you provide legal counsel to the Hooksett Police Commission. I represent Chief Agrafiotis. Please pass along my increasing concerns about the conduct of the commission, and in particular, its member, Mr. Clark Carolian. Mr. Carolian has taken a number of direct and indirect actions towards my client that are creating an increasingly hostile work environment. These actions, I believe, are motivated by Mr. Carolian's angst at my client's willingness to do his job even under difficult conditions. Mr. Carolian, inter alia, has sought to cut my client's salary, place him on leave, audit him, micromanage his department. He has made accusations directly and by innuendo that may harm the chief's reputation. We're concerned that, knowing the protections of RSA 105-2A, Mr. Carolian seeks to make the chief's position in Hooksett so unbearable that the chief feels compelled to resign. Please consider this fair warning that we consider Mr. Carolian's conduct grossly improper, unprofessional, and a prelude to constructive discharge, which will implicate RSA 105-2A just as the firing would. In short, whether Mr. Carolian directly fires the chief or continues with this cowardly approach, the town is still the body that will suffer. I suggest cooler heads intercede and urge you to use your good offices to do so. If you have any questions, Andrew Walensky. I'm making that public. Anybody can have a copy of it.
Commissioner Carolian?
And matter of fact, you can enter that copy into the minutes,
That's what I was just going to ask you.
please.
So you want me to attach a copy of that?
Please.
Is there a copy available tonight?
Yeah, we can have some made right now.
Chief, did you authorize this letter by Mr. Walensky?
I'm not discussing that.
He's your lawyer, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He is. Okay. Were you familiar with the language that said this cowardly approach? Were you familiar with that language?
Why don't you call him and ask him?
Oh, he's your attorney.
Uh,
Okay.
Dave.
Okay. The letter that the chief's attorney sent mentions the words cowardly approach, which I personally feel are degrading to a sitting commissioner on this commission, particularly someone who's a retired police officer and has shown no such conduct in the meetings that I've attended, which have been every one since he's been seated. Also, the fact that his attorney chooses to say that the body will suffer, talking about Hooksett, I think is a threat from that attorney to this town, and that offends me as well. I also have some great concerns with something that's in the body of this letter, where it says, talking about Commissioner Carolian, that he sought to place him, meaning the chief, on leave. I've attended every one of these meetings. That's never been said in public session. I'm therefore to assume that was a statement that was made in non-public session and has now been divulged to the town council when this letter was sent. I know Mr. Carolian has every right to divulge that information because he's not covered under 91A. But the attorney sending this to the town council, I think should be looked into. As I said, I have all the videotapes of this meeting. I have never heard Mr. Carolian say he wished to place the chief on leave. Yet that accusation is made in the letter. Halfway down, I think that should be looked into.
Just here, this complaint
Okay,
about me from the chief. This is, the complaint is public, the other memorandums I don't believe would be. And according to this is a formal request for investigation against, oh, you know what, you're the chair, you need to read that, redacted names.
I need to
Um,
read that.
Well, yeah. you have to
Chairperson
prove
Joanne
it.
McHugh.
You don't need
please.
to, I'm sorry.
That's, would
Could you read it,
Okay.
please?
Request, formal request for investigation against Commissioner Carolian. Dear Hooksett Police Commission, I am filing a formal complaint against Commissioner Carolian based on the conduct he is reported to have committed as stated in the memo, see attached memo, from and regarding Commissioner Carolian obtaining a copy of a sealed court document which he should have known he had no right to have. I am formally requesting that the Hooksett Police Commission request that the New Hampshire Attorney General's Office investigate this situation and that the Attorney General's Office be made aware of the existence of the memo written by
So,
and relating to this matter. Respectfully submitted, Stephen M. Grafiotis, Chief of Police. No problem.
that's,
And I will send it to,
you will send one.
I will have to send it to the,
Well, I think before you take any action on it, you have to discuss it. So
right,
what one, it doesn't fall under 91A. I don't fall under 91A because I believe I'm exempt from that. So having said that, this complaint is public.
you can discuss it.
And I'm going to recuse myself, obviously, recuse myself from any discussion about it, that any actions that you want to take in regards to that. So I won't weigh in on that. But I would say that if I were to weigh in on it, I certainly would be in agreement that it goes to the Attorney General's office for follow-up. But I'm going to leave that discussion up to you guys.
So be it, you just said it should go.
Pardon me?
So be it, you just said it should go.
I don't have any problem in it going to the Attorney General's office. That's where we'll send it. I'll put in a call to them and ask them how to go about it.
And you have the documents that were submitted with the complaints as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Commissioner Carolian, is
Yeah.
that going to be attached to, with redacted of the names up to the minutes?
I believe it should be, yes.
Yes, it will
Public
be.
information,
Okay.
and being a part of the body on
Yeah.
my reputation. I don't fall under that in any way.
Okay.
So will you give me a copy of that eventually? So I
Well, we
have
can give you a copy of,
the redacted one without the
this
names?
is redacted.
The best I can, I think it needs to, you make another copy
of it, yeah.
of it, so the
You know
black.
how you really redact it? We'll have to make another copy of it and then do it again, because otherwise than that, you can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that.
Is there any chance I could have a copy tonight?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll have to, yep,
I can wait.
okay.
Good evening, J.R. Willett, 3 Summerfair Street. After hearing this letter and complaint against Commissioner Carolian, I feel compelled to speak. It's my opinion that one must be managing in order for another to be accused of micromanaging. I have been coming to these commission meetings for over 5 years, and it is my opinion that this department has been lacking management for a very long time. It's the Commission's right and responsibility to question the management, especially for the following reasons. This department has problems retaining officers. This department has fired an officer without due process, lost the GRADE program, lost the DARE program, lost the K-9 program, accused this commission of having an illegal meeting, had a major safety issue with the Sally Port, had an illegal retainer for legal expenses, has expended hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal expenses when other departments spend under $1,000 annually, has sent classified letters to the town council of who they do not want on this commission, has suspended the SRO position 4 times in a short period of time, did not allow the SRO to gather the necessary information about a felony case because he wasn't allowed to work any overtime. And this was not a budget-related issue. Purchased a transport vehicle and justified it by using information from Laconia. Had more vehicles than officers. There are salary concerns with the command staff raises based on the lack of supporting information. The department has 199 tires in storage. This list goes on, and I only have 5 minutes. I'm going to suggest that Commissioner Carolian retain his own attorney and send a letter back to Mr. Grafiotis. This is not right, and I will state this again. The chief should be placed on paid administrative leave, effective immediately, pending the outcome of the audit and lawsuits. That's the right thing to do and is supported by the citizens of this community with 956 signatures obtained in a very short period of time. Thank you.